It's like I was saying, like, I have just a perfect example. One of my teammates, we got a lot of you heard of him, Roger Rose. And coming out of high school, he was second to another kid that maybe you guys have heard of, is Jason Kidd. He was second in the country coming up behind him. And his whole thing was, now can you guys hear me? The story was that Roderick Rose coming in West Kentucky, had a great season, 3 seasons there, decided he was going to put himself up for the draft. Decided that he didn't want to go to the NBA, came back to school, and things didn't work out, so he ended up transferring to USC. After his senior year, as good as he wasn't sure if he was going to make it to the NBA. He got lucky, he got picked up by the Houston Rockets, but the whole moral to the story is it's about the academics for him too. You know, one of the most valuable things that he told me was, no matter what, he thought that he had a degree from SC that he wanted to look back on. Even if he's made it, then he just know how to keep it.
Appropriate for this crowd. So I'm particularly proud, as I am of all the kids who graduated from our school, but Bezod's graduating this next month. He's taking back as a final tomorrow, so he's got to leave in a little while and go study. He's graduating in June, so let's give him a big hand for doing that. Okay, we're about to have the main course, so they'll be serving it in a moment, so relax and we'll be back to you. Showed up a bit late, so we wanted to honor them. And David, the mic is yours.
I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge Michelle Chatham. And I also want to acknowledge Maggie as the MVP for the girls' middle school basketball.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, but are you ready to go up?
An extraordinary year also for our boys junior varsity team who were played in the, as the varsity does, the girls in the Delphic League, which is, I think everybody knows, probably pound for pound, if you will, one of the most difficult leagues in the state for, whatever, depending on the level. So for our boys team to go undefeated and be 18-2 during the year is a terrific accomplishment. They've been very fortunate to have 2 great coaches the last couple of years. Tom Wood, who we kicked upstairs, if you will, to the girls program, and brought in a gentleman who did a great job, Mr. Danny Soto.
Good evening. I'd like to thank Rich and Mike and John and Rick for bringing me here to this school to coach basketball. I coached the previous 3 years at a school in San Pedro where I live, and they came up to me in the beginning of November and asked if I would like to come coach at their school up here. And it was kind of a tough decision to leave the school I was at for 3 years. I knew all the guys in the coaching staff were good friends. The head varsity coach is a real good friend of mine. But since we're all close friends with John also, we all run the same kind of basketball system. So it wouldn't have been too difficult to come up and coach these guys up here, since we all kind of run the same system. It's just kind of a new coach. But my first day at school was very interesting. I go up there on the day practice is supposed to start, and I had 5 guys come up to me and say, "How you doing, Coach?" You know, I'm so and so. sorry, I can't make practice today. I'm in the school play and I'm not going to be there. So I was thinking, wow, that's not a great start there. You know, I got 5 guys not coming to practice the very first day. But as it ended up, those guys that came up to me were at least grateful enough to come up and say, you know, introduce themselves as players on the team, saying they, you know, weren't going to be there, but they really want to play, and hopefully, you know, I'll still let them play and just, you know, come to practice tomorrow. Well, from that day on, from that first day, when I went out to practice, I saw the kids, and I knew we had a pretty good team there. The first day of practice, I just kind of sat back and let John do the coaching. We had one combined practice, and I just kind of sat back and I asked the kids at the end of the season. I said, you know, so what you guys think? You know, when you first saw me, and this and that. And the guys that were at practice told me like, yeah, I think he'll be all right. You know, he didn't do too much, so maybe he's not too sure what to do. But later on in the year, they got to know me pretty well, and they definitely know I like to express my opinion. So I like to, real quickly, I like to introduce my assistant coach, who was also kind of new to the school. So we just kind of met each other also about a week before the season started. And we worked very well together. He's a great assistant coach to have on the bench with you at practice. He was very knowledgeable at practice and on the bench. Got a little excited a few times on the bench, but that's good. That's good to have an excited assistant coach who knows he's in the game. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Coach Kevin Kelsey. Before I give the mic to Kevin, I just want to tell a little story real quick about a game we had right before winter break. We were playing a Friday game down in St. Anthony High School in Long Beach, and they're usually a pretty good team, so they have some talent throughout all the levels. They're known to have a pretty good basketball program, and we go down there, and you know, our kids are there. And Coach Kevin and I got there a little late. We were having a winter party for school, and so we had lunch, and then we hopped on the freeway and drove down there. We got there like, I'd say 10 minutes before game time, so that wasn't great on my part or Kevin's part, but we got there, and the kids were like, "Coach, where you been? Coach, where you been? You know, we're about to play a game right now." Like, sorry, we got stuck in a little traffic, but we're here, so we're gonna, you know, we're gonna go out and play hard. I tell you, that was probably one of the best basketball games, besides some of the varsity playoff games that I've coached or been around. We were up and down, back and forth, the scores back and forth. You know, I'm trying to be calm on the bench. Coach Kevin's, you know, getting excited. It ends up coming down to like, you know, 20 seconds, and we're down by 2. Or down by 1, actually. We get the ball like 3 times down court. We had 3 layups, and we didn't make one of us. So I'm thinking, you know, the other team got the call timeout right away, and they got a shot off, and it looked like it was going in. But from that point on, we were going to the league, you know, coming back from winter break, and the kids were just so fired up, seeing them, you know, being able to win a close game like that. Down in the locker room, I, you know, told them it was a real short, you know, post-game speech. I just said, bad teams find a way to win on, excuse me, good teams find a way to win on bad nights. And I said, we're a pretty good team. Not exactly that way, but that was kind of locker room talk. So anyway, that just kind of summed up our season right there. We, you know, the guys were great to coach, and I was real happy I came up here. So I'd like to Coach Kevin say a few words here.
We did have a fantastic year. We had a group of incredible players that probably, many of them would be playing varsity at other schools. We had very strong freshman class come in, as well as a couple of good sophomores, and then some juniors that have been here for 3 years. And the way they came together in jail, not knowing each other, was really incredible. We go 18-2, and the only game, we lost one game in a tournament where Team Bishop Montgomery brought down some varsity players, and we still were in a game of that. And the other games we lost was only because we had to keep some players out of a game because of missed practice. And that game we were ahead at the end of the third quarter. So basically, we went 18-2, and we rarely were challenged. And the kids just play hard, and that was the one thing we asked them from the beginning. So go ahead and bring up each player.
Okay, the first player I'm going to bring up is a junior. He was a reserve player. He worked hard in practice all the time. When he got in games, he worked hard. Scored a few buckets towards the end of the year, and all the guys were pretty fired up for him. Andrew Bagg. The next player is a freshman. He played. We kind of had two teams this year. We had like a freshman team that played some games and a JV team. So when we had both games, he played the freshman game, but he also played all the JV games. At the end of the year, he was probably our go-to guy that we gave the ball to down towards the stretch. That's freshman Amani Gonish. Next player is our backup point guard. He was definitely the life of practice every day. He definitely wasn't lost for words. So I'm kind of lost for words to talk about him. Cedric Benarote. Our next player is a freshman. I don't think you see too many freshmen with his ability. He's definitely a talented player. He will shine on the basketball court for many years to come. He got a dunk during the game, during the JV game. He dunked the ball. It was pretty exciting. He asked me for the ball, but I told him no, he couldn't have it. Anthony Davis. Next is another point guard that came off the bench. He came in some games and did very well. We were really pleased with him. He's a freshman, so he definitely is going to be one of our better players in the next few years. He's great ball handling skills, and he's learned how to be able to run a team on the court. William Hill. Next player we're going to bring up, he was our starting center, kind of power forward. He didn't score a lot of points, but he did a lot of the little things. And that's what counts on the basketball court when you have five guys. All five guys cannot score at one time. So he was definitely a force to be reckoned with in the middle when he played tough. He played tough all the time. Michael Jaffe. Next player is our shooting guard. If you ever walked into the gym and saw him playing and there was no scoreboard, you would not be able to tell if our team was up by 20 or down by 20. Towards the end of the year, he got moved to the varsity for playoffs, and all the guys started calling him Poker Face. That was his nickname because he didn't never show any expression. Mike gave him that name. He just informed me. He wanted me to get recognition there. But he is definitely, he's a great kid, he's a great basketball player, and he's fun to be around. Anthony Kyle. Next player is, he had like a shooting guard, kind of forward position. He wasn't sure what he was playing. We weren't really sure either. But when he got on the court, he just liked to play. He got in quite a bit. He played very hard. And the guys like to give him the ball. Sammy Marlowe. Our next player is our backup center, backup forward. He went in. I tell you what, I used to get on him. It's kind of funny, but he was one of our bench players, so he came off the bench. But right when he got in the game, I guarantee 6 seconds later he had a foul on him. I think he needed to get that first foul before he could, say he's in the game. And very rarely did he ever go a game without getting a foul. Never, I guarantee you. He almost fouled out of a couple. He was only reserved. But I think he did that because he wanted to play hard. That's Russell Miyamoto. Our next guy was kind of a backup. He played backup point guard when the other guys seemed not to be at the game. But he was also mostly our first guy off the bench. He filled a lot of roles. He could play the guard position or forward position, and he liked to shoot the ball too when he had a chance. I kind of told him a few times, that's enough shots there, pal. No more shots for you. But he played hard, and he was a great player too. He's also a great kid and great to be around. That's Riyadh. He's our last player tonight we're going to bring up is also a reserve. He played hard. He was using the game. He improved quite a bit from the beginning of the season till the end. So I was real happy with his progress towards the end of the season. And I think he also played on the freshman team, so he got a lot of minutes down there when we played those games. So that was a few more minutes he got as a freshman. But when we had the JV games only, he also got it. He was one of the top guys off the bench. That's Steve Spivak.
All right, Steve.
And just real quickly, a few guys that were also on our team that didn't make it tonight. Brian Lawrence, Chris Pierce, Ian Sidney, Ed Komrosh, Vladimir Golin, and Vinny Bali. One of the players, we gave out most improved, and one of the players wasn't here. That was Vladimir Golden, so we'll recognize him. The also a second most improved player. He's got a basketball body, and he's got a basketball talent, but sometimes he just didn't want to always put it together. So I rode him pretty hard from the first day of practice to the last day of practice.
Yeah.
But I would like to say that he took it very well. He never talked back. He never thought I was, picking on him or anything. I was just trying to make him a better basketball player to be able to play varsity basketball someday in City Kills. And there's no question he'll be a great varsity basketball player for City Kills. That's Amani Donish.
Next award is the Hustle Award. This award goes to a guy who put his heart into every game, and namely one of the games I think about, or we've talked about even since the season ended, was one of the games we lost, where we only could take up 8 guys in the game because several guys had missed practice, and he, along with Anthony Davis, had to play guards, and we could not take them out of the game. We were playing the evil empire in the valleys, known as Montclair Prep, and we did not want to lose, and we played our hearts out, and these kids, it was an incredible thing to watch these kids just pour everything they could into it. And at one point, this guy got hurt, and I yelled to him, he needed to come out of the game. He gave me a glare, and I've never seen him glare that somehow I would die a very painful death if he came out of the game. I'd like to bring up Riyadh and Dom. The next award is the Coach's Award, which I guess I kind of think of as a teammate's award, or I would think of maybe as an ideal teammate. This guy, ever since the first time I saw him play, I thought that was the kind of guy I would always want to play with. Maybe kind of a guy you think of as being old school. not that I'm old, but a guy that just always plays hard, that never promotes himself, just goes out and does the job. And he was the one guy I started hearing as the season went down, all the varsity players saying they wanted him to be moved up. And the reason is because he just goes out and plays basketball. He takes care of business out there, never promotes himself, and just gets the job done. Michael Jackson.
Okay, the last award we're going to give out tonight is the Most Valuable Player Trophy. And I think that could have gone to probably just about all 17 guys that we had on the team this year. Having a season of 18-2 overall and 10-0 in league, when you have a record like that, it's not just one guy on the court that does it. But I kind of had to narrow it down to just one person. And it was definitely a tough decision, but he definitely stuck out as probably being the best character guy on the team. Never having a problem with them, never missing practice, never saying, "Coach, I can't do this. Coach, I can't do that. Coach, I don't want to practice today." He was there every day. He practiced hard every day. He never complained. He doesn't say much anyway, but he didn't say much when one practice we did quite a bit of running. He just worked hard all day. All practice. There's not much more I can say about him. He's definitely going to be a premier varsity player next year. That is Anthony Kiles.
I did want to say one last thing, just because the parents are here. This group of guys, one thing I talked about the entire season was, once we realized we weren't really going to be playing against a lot of teams that necessarily challenged us, was concentrating just on how important character was. And we played a couple of teams that, in our league, that, I don't know how I should say, that wasn't maybe necessarily a large priority maybe in their basketball program. And there were a couple of times where, after we beat some teams very badly, they tried to start some things with some of the players. And there was a team at the end of the season, the guys will still imitate me when I yelled at them. But this team definitely was trying to have get something going. What I wanted to show was not only were we going to beat them badly on the court, we also were going to show more character. And these guys never caused a problem. And so the parents need to be commended for that, because
On behalf of the JV basketball team, we'd like to thank our two coaches, Coach Soto and Coach Kelsey. Come to the next class. Thank you for teaching us how to play hard and play together and to be unselfish. These qualities have made us champions on the court and will help us become champions in life. Stick Tails Junior Varsity Delta League champions. Our coaches were great during practice and games, and we also had a fun time off the court with them. Fun guys to be with. Thank you.
Real quick, the last thing I would like to do is give the Delphic League champions trophy to all the guys. This is for you guys. This is going on trophy case at school. And I'm going to make sure it gets in there. It might only be for some varsity trophies, but as long as I'm at school, this trophy's going to be in the trophy case.
I'm not going to argue with him. Okay, gentlemen. Good job. Another big hand for them. While I'm walking back, Kevin Kelsey, who came to us just as the school year started, because as you know, we grew very quickly, and he's done a great job. He's doing more and more responsibility and coming back to school full time. He told us that, the people from Tennessee are called volunteers. He says, well, I'm a volunteer. And Mike and I went, yeah, he's going to come and volunteer. That's the only way. The girls' varsity team is a growing group of young ladies. There are no seniors on the team. They played hard. They improved as the year went on. They're just beginning to reach their potential. And they were lucky to have a gentleman who I have a lot of affection for, who's a really terrific young man, and gave everything he had to this team, and I hope they appreciate it, because I know I do, and that's their coach, Mr. Tom Wood.
Thank you. Good evening. First, I wanted to thank my assistant coach, Terry Davis. She couldn't make it tonight, but she was like my spiritual leader this year. When I was living my dad, she not only knew when I was going to say something I shouldn't, so she'd say, coach. Coach. I want to thank her. I want to thank David, who helped out in a few games. I want to thank Rick Ibarra, who was always there to help me set up the gym. I want to thank Rich and Mike, who gave me this chance when I first varsity coaches. And especially all the parents who came to the game, whether they were at 3:30, at this gym, at that gym, down in Santa Monica, wherever the games were. Every game I tried to thank every parent that came. And it's real important that you are there to support us, and I just want to thank you again for coming to office. And of course, I got to thank my new wife, Kelly, who before I bring the team up, I want to say when I got back from my honeymoon, I was told I was going to be the girls' varsity coach. And people were telling me, are you nuts? Are you crazy? First of all, you were John's assistant. They're going to win state this year, which they did. So then they said, well, you're going to leave your JV team. They're going to be good this year. So they're 18-2 and won the double. But you know what? Having your own program to mold, which John and the school has given me, that's nothing that I would ever want to give up. And that first game when we won, the looks on everyone's faces when I walked in. I usually walk in a locker room when we win like this, though. And then I go, we won. But we took a picture right after that, and I still have that on my desk at home. And when things are down, I look at that because that is something no one can ever take away from me. So with that, I'd like to bring up the. What is that? Okay, one at a time, I'm going to ask the players to come up. This first player was a great hustler and really helped out at the beginning of the year. And just say a few quick words about everyone, but the thing I remember about her is I always remember kids who I coach. The thing I remember about her is she's always diving in, head first for the ball, or there's a play, and I always see her coming out of a group of 4 or 5 girls like this. And that's L'Oreal Arbuckle. Okay, this next player, I know you're all keeping track on here, so could you get your pens out, please? If you're keeping score at home, I need you to write in player here, Lonnie Thomas. And hold on, and the reason why we left her off here is she couldn't participate this year, and if I put her in any of our scorebooks, we'd have to forfeit our game, if you know what I mean. So I wanted to make it realistic. But Lonnie was a player who was at every practice. She was the voice of reason, and I thank her for that. And she couldn't play in any of the games. And she was a great help. She was like having a player coach on the bench. And for that, I wanted to give her a captain's award as well. She's going to win tonight. And I'd really like to thank Lonnie Thomas for that. rebounds a game, double-double. What more does a coach need? And Emily, come on up. She's great fun on the team. I thought I'd introduce her now. It's going to take about 20 minutes to get up here. I was trying to teach Emily how to shoot free throws. And I'll always remember this, that one day I finally came and I said, you know what, I forbid you to shoot free throws like this anymore. So in the next game, she shoots it like I taught her, and the first one bounces up there 3 times and doesn't go in. And she looks at me and says, can I stop that way now? No. Emily, good job this season. Let's hear it for Emily. I had one game this year that was probably the most exciting game I ever coached against Whitney. We won in overtime. And there was a player who was very key to that, who I don't think shot free throws all year, but she shot 2 in that game down at the end. At the very end of the game, she made them both. And I'm so proud of her. And she's really going to become a great player, and that's Ebony Brown. This next player, about the 4th or 5th game, there's a player that comes to every practice, brings her shoes to every game, brings the correct uniform, and that's sometimes rare when you're just learning how to play basketball. And I called her aside after practice, and I let her start a game because of that. And I told her, I'm not going to mention her name, but I said, you know, I'm just starting you, but I'm trying to prove to the other girls that you need to always come to practice. You always need to hustle hard, and you always need to bring the right shoes and equipment and that. And I said, you might not start every game, but I want to teach the other folks a lesson. Well, she proved me wrong. She started the rest of the year, and that's the most improved player who went from literally the worst player in the team to one of the best, and that's Nadia. Well, this next player was the enforcer, so I think the girls know who that is. But she was also there. If anyone pushed one of our players, she's up here in the face. She's great fun to have on the court. She's our big number 5 postman woman. I had to learn this year. Get your man. I mean, get your a woman. I mean, get the other player. I kept saying man all the time. But anyways, she is going to be a force in the middle in the Delphic League in the years to come. That's Summer Green. She's not that mean. This next player has the best talent on the team. You know, the other day, we're playing in some league games, and I'm not allowed to coach because of the blackout period, but I'm sitting on the bench, and I really got to see this player play. She hustled like I couldn't believe, because I was so busy, you know, yelling at her, pushing her, I didn't get a chance to sit back and watch. But she's got moves that could really take her to the next level. And she, I hope you'll all hear this name next year, because she's going to be a force as well when we win the league. And that's Carlisha Scott. This next player I know works very hard on her game, and she's going to be a 3-point shooting star in the years to come. She practices all the time at UCLA. I'm not going to say anything. I went to SC too, so. Let me tell you, it's the hardest thing with the UFC. Try coaching the team, the Bruins. Bruins. All right. Back to Erica. Why don't you come on up? Okay, we have 2 more awards left and 1 more player left, and I'd like to give the Coach's Award to Emily for her great, outstanding rebounds and points per minute. Not only was I proud what this team did on the court, but off the court, I was very proud of everyone's grades. We had, I think, 8 out of the 10 players on honors, and our team Well, our last player, our point guard, freshman, going to be back for 4 years with me, which is pretty exciting to me. Average over 3. Oh. I'm not the math teacher. Scored over 15 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, 6 assists a game. But the one stat that can really tell you a lot about her is the steals per game. 6 steals a game. And that's I've coached for a number of years, and you know, if you get 2 steals a game, that's good. But 6 steals a game. I know this player has, you talk about half a step, 1 step, but when I see her out there playing and hustling, she's got 2 steps on everyone, and she's going to bring home one of these banners for the girls one day, and that's our most valuable player, Janique Tyler. Janique was also 2nd team All-Delphic League, and this was the girls' first year in the Delphic League as we're building our program. And she's the first person ever to make an All-Delphic team, so we're real proud of her. And the good part is this: not only is this your 98 girls basketball team, but this will also be your 99 team. They're all coming back.
Thanks, Coach. While the girls are going back, I want to recognize somebody who we recognize just really quickly, and that's our athletic director, Ricky Barra. Being the athletic director of a school, especially like our school, is one of the most difficult jobs of all, because we don't have really any facilities on campus. So we have to arrange for everything. At the girls' games, if you watched him, you've seen those musicians who have this pogo stick and play 7 instruments. He's keeping the 30-second clock, the game clock, scoring, 7 other things all at once. He really was a great asset. I know to Tom and the girls' team. And the thing about athletic director, nobody says thank you if the gym's ready and the coaches and the referees are there. But if they're not, they're going to go do a next break. So he's done a great job, and I know all of us know that, but you should too. So let's have a big hand for Ricky Barra. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anthony Davis.
Man, I didn't get
Here he is explaining to us all why he got robbed for MVP of the junior varsity team.
Hey, he's rolling too. Over here, cameraman. Over here. Thank you. The film rolling? All right.
Go.
Anthony Davis got cheated out because of that. Yeah.
gave tickets to basketball games and stuff. I ain't gonna say nothing. Peace out, man. Cut off.
But we want to move forward here.
Doing great.
Let's stay close. Thank you. It's really a pleasure for me to introduce our keynote speaker tonight, because not only is he very accomplished in his field of on the plate and as a coach, but he's really a good guy. He's really a gentleman, and I know that he represents the best of athletics. And today that's getting harder and harder. So Michael Holton started his career at Pasadena High School. As a junior, led his team to their second consecutive CIF championship, something we know something about. As a senior, he was an All-American. He was, in the old days, he used to know the top divisions were 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A. So he was the 4A co-player of the year, Pasadena High School. Most valuable player of his league, he averaged 27 points a game. He then went to UCLA, and as a freshman was part of the interesting team with basically 4 freshmen and Kiki Vanderway, who weren't expected to do anything, and went all the way to the NCAA championship game before losing, I think it says here, 59-54 to Louisville, but a tremendous accomplishment for a pretty young team. He then played 6 years in the NBA for several different teams. Then went back to his alma mater for some coaching, to do some coaching at Pasadena City College, and then went to Oregon State, and he led them to one of the best recruiting classes as he was the recruiting coordinator. He then, when Steve Lavin took over a couple of years ago as the head coach of UCLA, his first hire was to bring Michael down from Oregon State, and Michael had, as the first assistant coach, as well as the recruiting coordinator, and UCLA recruiting class last year was one of the best in the country, and potentially this year maybe the best in the country. And I know he has as a guard, his whole stance, if you will, was to make everybody else better. And for all you point guards out there, that's the most important thing. He cared more about the assist than he did about points. He cared about winning more than he cared about his own individual accolades. He didn't care. He was a team player. That's the most important thing. So it's really a pleasure for me to introduce Mr. Michael Holt.
Why you take my cake? I was sitting here. Do you want to go?
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. A nice introduction. I don't want to scare anybody by pulling out a little piece of paper. I think I'm going to be here all night. I've been blessed with a lot of opportunity in my life, and particularly in sports. And when I was invited tonight to speak, I considered it an honor to be entrusted with an opportunity to share some of that experience with you. Certainly in the interest of time, I won't try to share it all, but there are a few things that I would like to share that I think are significant hopes that some of the young players here might benefit. Before I engage in a few remarks, I would like to say this though. It's very important, and I'm saying this to all the players, that if you haven't done this already, it's very important tonight before you lay your head down, that you thank your parents for the opportunity to play and to be on the team, because not everybody has this opportunity to be on the team. Many people have sacrificed so that you have an opportunity to play. And the things that you oftentimes take for granted. How you got those shoes, how you got those socks, how you got to practice, mom and dad listening to how you feel when the game didn't go the way you wanted it to go. A lot of people make sacrifices so that you can be on a team. Oftentimes in sports, we wake up feeling like we've done it all ourselves. And sometimes we wake up feeling like, why doesn't everybody realize how much we've done ourselves? So I just wanted to start by reminding you that you didn't get to this station in life on your own. And don't take for granted that your parents know how you feel, and your coach as well. So I just wanted to say that, and not to come across so serious, but I think it's real important. It's a real important part of your development as a young athlete, as a young person, to learn to acknowledge the others around you that are supportive of what you're doing. So I needed to say that because I wouldn't be here tonight, and I wouldn't have been invited tonight had there not been a lot of people in my life that made a lot of sacrifices so that I could have some of the opportunities that I would like to visit or revisit tonight with you. First thing I kind of want to touch bases about is it's interesting when somebody introduces you and they read this list of accomplishments and you sit there going, is that really my life? You know, certainly I was able to accomplish some things, you know, but the perspective that I have on it is probably a little different than you would think it would be. Because when I look back over sports and playing on teams and playing for championships and being a teammate with Michael Jordan and being a teammate with Clyde Drexler, when I look back at all those things, I don't see those things as great accomplishments. I see them as opportunities. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight, opportunities. And what they are, what they look like, what they feel like, and what you should do with them. Because you all have opportunities. And I like to think that there's one real important ingredient in what you do with those opportunities, and that's your decision-making process. And that's really where I want to focus my remarks tonight. Because the ability to make good decisions is critically important to quality of life. Because I look back at some of the decisions I made that wasn't so good, and what the consequences were. And then I look back over my career at the decisions that I made that were pretty solid, and what those consequences were. And so that's kind of what I want to try to visit with you tonight about. Because when my team won a championship as a junior, when I was a junior in high school, I was a starter all year long. But when we won a championship, I came off the bench because Coach disciplined me. Because I didn't take the team bus after we won in the semifinals. Because they didn't pass me the ball. And I felt like I was the man. Coach, how could they not recognize I was the man? You saw it. How many of you have ever had a thought like that? The point is, I took a principled stance, and I was so upset and disappointed in that particular situation that I wasn't going to ride the bus with the rest of the team. So Coach tapped me on the shoulder the next day and just said, you know what, Michael, you're a junior, and started, and you've done some good things this year, but I've got to coach you next year, and building character of you is more important than winning games. You will come off the bench in the Long Beach Arena Saturday night so we play for a championship. Coach, championship? Bench me for championship. The point is, the only time in my life I ever won a championship, I came off the bench because of my attitude. So when I talk about lessons and decisions, it's based on things that I've experienced. So that's why when I hear somebody read my list of accomplishments, I still think of those things. Because those are the things that created a fabric in me that allowed me to move forward. And so that's why it's hard for me to address you tonight without starting there. Because it was from that experience that I went on to UCLA and played as a freshman, started as a freshman. And had a coach tap me on the shoulder and said, you know, I know you scored a lot of points in past in high school, but we need you to run our team. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, he was having one of those conversations about me being a role player. I never had one of those because I was never a role player. That was always something that somebody else did. And I was always a player that got all the shots. And so I said, Coach, 28 points a game, I can feel it. And my coach was Larry Brown, at the time, now the coach of Philadelphia 76ers, said to me, we're having this conversation because I believe in you. I'm asking you to do something for the good of the team. because you're going to be playing. We wouldn't be discussing your role if you weren't going to be playing. He says, now the other side of it is you not accepting your role is you not playing. Oh, coach, I can pass. I can understand. He said, couldn't do it. So, just try to give you a little feel for some of the things that you'll experience. For me, I learned a lot of lessons about life through sports. And that's just how my life has been. Because from there I went on and started a couple of years and had a coaching change and didn't start, then drafted into the NBA, didn't make it. I mean, all kind of things happened along the way. Got cut, went to the CBA, came back, made it, started, got cut, went to the CBA, came back, played with Jordan, got cut. I mean, so when you say I played 6 years, I got cut 3 times. And to me, I just look at it like every team I played for figured out that to get better, they needed somebody better than me. It just took some teams longer to figure it out than others. But in the meantime, I was able to keep picking myself up and keep making the most of my opportunities. So my point to you tonight is, your parents have invested in you time and energy. Your coaches have invested in you time and energy. Your school has invested in you time and energy. Are you invested in you? To the highest degree possible. Because oftentimes we start to have some success, and I get excited about coming to banquets because I remember everyone I ever went to. I remember 6 years old, church league, banquet, get my certificate. And it's always kind of a happy and sad time. It's happy because you started the season 3 or 4 months ago, and there was tryouts and practice, and am I going to make it or not, and how am I going to fit in? And there's all those innocent things that go into the process of a team coming together. And then you kind of end it with a banquet, and you kind of acknowledge that whole run that you had. And so, to me, it's important on a night like this to put it in perspective. Because you have an opportunity through your involvement with sports to do some very special things in terms of learning that are unique, in my opinion, to sports, to being a part of a unit, to being a part of a group. Because I learned so much from coaches and in sports, it's probably why I became a coach. Because when I look at my life, that's where most of my learning occurred. But what I want to say to you is, what you're going to do with this opportunity that you have going forward, in terms of making the most of it. Because that's a responsibility that rests solely on your shoulders. You can make good decisions, you can make questionable decisions. But you got to be willing to wake up and look at your life. The thing that I find so much now that is bothersome to me as a coach is I see every player comparing himself to another player. I want to be like Mike.
Yes.
Be like him. I want to be like her. If I could just shoot like him, or if our school had a gym like that school had. And it's just, and we as coaches and administrators, we hear these things. And so, they're all distractions. They're all distractions. There's positive distractions and negative distractions. And we see players at UCLA that have positive distractions. Success, television, everything that comes with that life. And some players can't handle the positive distractions. All of the attention. Girls waiting after the game. All these distractions. And we see players have great games and be Chevrolet MVP players of the game. And we can't coach them the next day. So those are positive distractions. And then of course we're all more familiar with the negative distractions. Something doesn't go our way, we don't start, we don't play. Those are distractions. So I'm putting it out there to you in terms of how do you handle the distractions that are in your life. Because I don't think I would have ever played professional basketball. I certainly didn't play because I had this incredible level of talent. That's why none of you know who I am. But somewhere along the way, I learned how to handle distractions. When Coach said, run the team, I ran the team. When Coach called me, and I never will forget this, I never been cut in my life. I was drafted in the 3rd round by the Golden State Warriors, 53rd pick. Coach called me and said, this is where me and you part company. and gave me a plane ticket to go home. And I was like, that's it? And he was like, bye. So I learned the business of basketball. It was very cold. It wasn't anything like what you think it would be like. And that was quite a distraction. It was a long ride home to tell everybody I didn't make it. And then it was interesting to see who were really friends. But the point is, my grandmother told me something. And she said that if you never let yourself fall all the way down, you'll never have to pick yourself all the way up. So when that coach told me I wasn't good enough for his team, it didn't mean I couldn't play pro basketball. It just meant he didn't have plans for me. And I went home on the way home. I said, okay, let me figure this out. There's 24 teams. There's 23 elements, and I might can try to get on. And that was my level of focus. And that was the level of determination that I had. And that worked for me. I don't encourage everybody to have such a singleness of focus. But it's important that you have focus. Because without focus, distractions just make you wave with the wind. You're up, and you're down, and you're happy, and you're sad, and nothing seems to go the way you want it to go. But when you have focus, you always have a plan. And you can deal with the bumps in the road. You know, so for me, I guess I developed a resiliency that I'm trying to share with you tonight, and hopefully that's coming across. Because you're going to have an opportunity through sports to learn so much about life. I tell our players now, don't be at the airport when your ship comes in. And they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, Coach, what does it mean? You're always talking these sayings. What does it mean? And my point to them is, and my point to you is, you have so many skills and gifts and talents. It took me a long time to learn that I'm not a basketball player. I'm a person that plays basketball. But also a student, now a husband and a father, and have all these other hats I wear. And you have all of these skills in the classroom and in so many other areas. And that's why I say don't have a singleness of focus, where if I can't beat this on the basketball team, I'm going to miss my opportunity to develop all these other skills that I have. And so that's my challenge to you, to enjoy life to the fullest. And to invest in yourself, and to develop all of the skills and talents that you have. And I'll move towards closing with this. Be yourself. And the last thing I kind of want to leave you with, and I'll take a couple questions if there's time, is everybody always thinks the grass is greener on the other side. And if I only had that, if we only had that. I just want to put this on your mind and think about it. It took me a long time to realize that the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is green where it gets watered. So I challenge all of you to water your grass. And be the best that you can be. And not be distracted. And not lose your focus. And not be at the airport when your ship comes in. Be available for your life. Thank those around you that create opportunities for you. And with that, you'll find a joy. Because I use the word joy because most people look for happiness. Somebody asked me one day, do you know what the difference in joy and happiness is? I'm like, no, I don't think there is one. And they said, happiness is what everybody looks for in the world and other people and material things. And joy is what you already have inside you. Stop looking outside yourself for happiness. Look inside yourself, and you'll have joy. So I just want to say, water your grass, and you'll find joy. For your patience and for being so attentive. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to take a couple of them. Anybody does? Oh, that's right. Crossroads is in this league. Huh? I'll touch base on that. Do you have a question?
Yes. What year did you play?
College or pro?
Pro.
I played in the pros. I ain't gonna make you tell how old I am. I played in the pros from 1984 to 1990. And in 1990, I had a career-ending back surgery. Any other questions? Thanks. Yes. The question was who was a big inspiration to me or motivation to me? Certainly there were many. Two that stand out. First of all, my mother. My mother was just incredible. She would drive me to anywhere to participate in anything. Her goal for my life was for me to have every opportunity possible. I remember one time I was going to go to this camp and I missed my ride. And the camp was in San Diego. So I was almost in tears. She's like, San Diego, I've driven across the country. I can get you to San Diego. My mom was just incredible. The second person that was probably most influential, even though I didn't really, a lot of the things he said didn't sink in at the time, was my high school coach. And you know, I almost get teary-eyed when I think of the impact he's had on my life. You know, the patience that he had. He saw something in me before I saw something in me. You know, and he was disciplined enough to stand up to me. You know, basically, because I was pretty manipulative back in the day. And he drew a real straight line and kicked me out of the gym when I needed to be kicked out of the gym. And the thing he did that changed my life was he sent me to FCA camp, Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp, every summer. I mean, whether it was out of his pocket, I don't know how he did it, but he sent me every year. And a lot of things that happened in those experiences sunk in. And as I got through life, that became my backbone. You know, so I'm very indebted to him for that. But in the interest of time, Baron Davis update. I'm sure everybody here is familiar with who he is. I know the varsity players like, yeah, Baron Davis. Baron Davis went to Crossroads, who, you know, we were able to recruit to UCLA. I got to be careful because there's all these rules and I can't talk about recruiting. So. But anyway, I can talk about Baron, I guess. As many of you may know, and some of you may not know, he had a season-ending knee injury that was very traumatic. And so he had surgery, that's about 2 weeks ago. So he just started his rehab. I guess he has a week of rehab on his knee under his belt. But what's targeted as a potentially 6-7 month rehabilitation period. So you take a young man who, as phenomenal as he is, and I'm sure he'll be fine, in a split second, for a period of time, has lost basketball. I mean, it's not career threatening, but I say it that way to put it in perspective. I mean, one play, he was on top of the world. I mean, he was the catch me out, as they say. And then the next play, he's got to have surgery and go through this long process of rehabilitation. And that's where coaching becomes a real beauty, because now there's a lot of things that he can learn because he has a different level of attention. So as coaches, you try to seize that opportunity to try to make sure that he realizes that he's more than a basketball player. You know, he's a person that has a lot of skills and a lot of talents. And so Baron's doing fine, and I appreciate you asking that. And in the interest of time, I know it's been a long evening. You guys have been great. Thanks a lot.
Today, and the compliance person from UCLA, I think, basically a coach cannot have contact with any players, doesn't matter if they're being recruited by UCLA or not at all. And Michael said to me in terms of kind of guy, he says, I don't want to be rude, but I really can't talk to anybody. So we kind of agreed. It's been a long night. He's got a family to send him on his way. So that's why he has to leave. But let's get one more round of applause. Very good. Okay. Let's have a wave off set up. It's for me, a particular pleasure to introduce the next gentleman. Being a school administrator and having someone like this person work for you is really a joy, because his head and heart is always in the right place, and that is what's best for the kids. There's never any ego involvement. There's never any hidden agenda. Lynn calls him coach. That's all she calls him. And the truth is, that's more than just his title or what he does. It's really who he is. Because John coaches the kids all the time. It doesn't matter if it's on the court, in the classroom, in his office, walking down the hall. That's what he does. That's who he is. I think in the dictionary, the word coach, as they said, it would probably be his picture. He's really a special gentleman. And beside that, he's a great basketball coach. So we're really lucky to have him. Just a couple of words about his success. You can see it on the wall. From 92 on, so the last 7 years, John's teams have won 5 CIF championships, 1 final game lost in overtime to the eventual state champion, and 1 Final Four game lost to the eventual CIF champion. His record in playoffs is 32 wins and 2 losses. I mean, I don't think there's a coach anywhere, perhaps in the country, honestly, that has that kind of a playoff record. Consistency, year in, year out, a veteran team, a younger team. This is a school that doesn't have a gymnasium, as you all know. They practice outside some. They practice in the local gym. They practice in a park. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty neat. We've never had a player thus far be recruited by a Division I school. We have one who's been recruited by a Division II player school, so it's not like there's all these kids. So it's really pretty phenomenal. We sort of take it for granted. I mean, Lynn next year we're making plans for some testing. She says, "Oh no, we can't do that on this date. That's the game. That's the day of the championship game next year." So we have sort of taken it for granted. But if you really think about what John has accomplished, it's pretty amazing. It's really amazing. And this year obviously was the penultimate experience for us. Let me tell you something about John, where he's at. Here we are at the Arco Arena, Sacramento, about to play for the state championship. Team walks into the locker room, and John says, "This is how I want you to walk into class on Monday morning. Focused, knowing what you need to do, and paying attention." He's about to play for the state championship when he's telling them about his life and school and what's really important. Ladies and gentlemen, our coach, John Barber.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate that. You hear me back there? I know it's real late. I know it's maybe approaching 9 o'clock, but I think these guys are worth the wait. The first thing that comes to my mind about the season, like Rich said, it is the championship game. And it meant so much to me and to the kids to have so many people make the adjustments in their schedule and follow us up to Sacramento so we can bring that plaque back for you people. And that meant a lot to the kids. That meant a lot to me. I'm just going to very briefly, hopefully, let you know just a couple real quick thoughts about the season. And they come down to a couple plays. All right? One play, if you guys were at that Montclair prep game, and throughout the whole season, we just kept talking about, we're bench kids, discipline in the classroom, and we stressed it and stressed it and stressed it. And a lot of times, coaches will sit there and, talk about it, and sometimes we don't back it up. And sometimes it's hard for a coach to sit there and bench a kid that you really like him, but you have to do hopefully what's best for him, and one day he's going to learn from that. And as that Montclair prep game was going on, they were a rough team, throwing elbows, talking a little trash, trying to get to the kids' heads. Like what Michael was talking about, staying focused. And our kids, kept their focus. This wasn't there at the beginning of the year. It really wasn't. In all my years of coaching, which is about 14 now, this was the hardest group of kids to bring together. There was a point, I must confess, that I said, I can't wait till the season's over because this is just too tough. Then I remembered what I always tell the kids. If it's easy, it's probably not worth it. And trust me, this was a tough task. So we go back to that Montclair game, and it comes down to one free throw. Ryan Abrams sitting at the line. He just missed his first free throw. And some of us were there. I know I was there. You guys were there. So I don't remember what happened 2 minutes before that. And as he missed the first free throw, just before that happened, I was just thinking, there's no way this team, meaning Montclair, deserves this. You know, I teach my kids discipline, work hard, stay focused, don't talk trash. I go, why did they get this? And as that happened, the ball came off the rim after the first free throw, and one of their players decided to walk out towards half court from the free throw lane and go up to the crowd and start celebrating. And sure enough, on the second free throw, I told Ryan to hit 4 times, not 3, just kidding. So Brian shoots the ball, 1, 2, 3. Meanwhile, the guys that have court like this, I got this on film, it's fun to watch. Ryan's like this, the guy on Montclair is like this at half court. Looking tough, talking the trash, getting the crowd excited. Meanwhile, Ryan's tipping the ball in at the buzzer. And then you think about that. The whole game, there was times where our kids wanted to break out of that mold where they, wanted to start the trash talking, doing all that. But it came down to that one play. And we could sit there and look. Maybe if that one kid did his job, because he happened to be the same player who was in alignment to box out the shooter. So that's how important that was. Our kids were able to stay focused and battle through that game, as we know, and went into triple overtime. Then it comes down to one more play, and we could sum up the entire season. And I want everybody to listen to this, what happened, because when we talk about discipline, focus, concentration, there wasn't one player on our team that could have done this, but 5 players together on the court could do things together. And we kept fighting and fighting to try to get to that. We were through more than 20 games with this much talent, and we didn't put it together yet. And it came down to one player at Pasadena Poly. Well, I should say one play. We're sitting there. There's always a play that just triggers. We finally did it. And this is what happened. We have 10 seconds left. We're playing a team that goes 6'11", 6'8", 6'6", favored to beat us by 30. And San Diego Rising, #1 team in the state at the time. 10 seconds left. We shoot. We get the rebound on a free throw miss. We call timeout with 10. The kids come over to the huddle. I have no clue what I'm going to say. I'm not going to sit there and pretend, yeah, we worked on this one over and over. All right? Because the thing was, throughout the game, they were switching their defenses up, so you don't come out and just make one call. But the thing was, the kids had to be ready for 4 options on one play, because the team was switching defenses. And I remember Brandon. He gets down on the floor, like this far off the little board we write on. I have to back him up, Brandon, make sure everybody can see. And Brandon says this: you guys make sure you get this play. Now that's a leader right there. All right? You had 15 people looking within 2 feet of that board for what the play is. Just 10 seconds. Now when we talk about discipline, when one kid isn't focused, if one kid decides he's going to be selfish and worry about who scores, if one kid is worried about he's not in the ballgame, we might have a problem. But for that moment, one moment, we had 15 kids ready right within 2 feet of that board. And we drew up the play. Like I said, there was 4 options on it. Brandon comes down, not in a hurry, even though probably some of you are thinking, whoa, what's he waiting for? He was waiting for the double team. He read it perfectly. He swung the ball over to Rodney, made the catch, good jump stop, made the pass. We tied the game. And then, as we know, we went into the 3rd overtime again, and we won that one. So this is what it's all about. It wasn't about one player, even though there's going to be some people that might get some awards tonight. It wasn't about one situation. It was about the long road of persevering through a lot of hard times. And the message goes to like what Michael said about it's nothing to do with basketball if you think about it, because when we get out there, and I keep telling these kids, when you're 25, 30 is when I'm going to know if I did any type of a job. Because when you're 25 and 30, I want you to be doing what you want to be doing. All right, don't be out there, because you're worried about just basketball or anything. And find out what you wanted. These kids really knew what they wanted, and they brought you guys home a state championship this year. So, that's one thing that's going to go down the memory. I'm going to bring up the coaching staff. The coaching staff, you'll see 5 or 6 of them, and believe this or not, without every one of those coaches, it wouldn't happen. So everybody did their job. I want to start off with Coach David Dove. Each coach and player will be receiving a nice state championship flag. Your coach. Coach Dove has spent hours and hours and hours and hours of helping me put this banquet together throughout the entire year, academically with the kids. It's endless hours, and most of us don't even realize how important he is. Next coach, they said, why did they have a girl on the bench? Okay, what's she doing? Just little sidebar with Olga. She basically has charted the other team. Every time I say something, which I'm going to forget in 2 minutes, but we have to talk about it halftime, she's recording it. The strategy of the game comes through a lot of the paperwork she does. Next coach is Coach Olga Finesse. Next coach, Coach Bodie, who, it's amazing, he keeps running the drills with the big guys, and then all of a sudden into the playoffs you see on the court the actual drills happening on the court, the exact drop steps or the exact pick and turns or whatever it may be. And again, goes unnoticed a lot. That's Coach Jeff Bodie. Next coach gets a little bit shy. Is our spark plug. Keeps these guys energized, doesn't let them get down. It's amazing how much energy he gives these guys. Sometimes I get dragging and he doesn't let it happen. Coach Charles Harrell. Coach, since about, I would say, a month into the season, Coach used to always say, my ring finger's a little itchy. And they got closer and closer, and you'd think that's tears. Wait, when we won that first championship, they were really wrong. I'd like to introduce the first player, which we have. Okay, the kids will be receiving a proclamation from the mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Reardon. I'll read it very quickly. They also received one from West Hollywood. Certification of congratulations is to hereby present the Pacific Hill Bruins, State of California South Division champions, April 28, 1998. So each of those players will receive one. David will show you this. Okay, first player I'm going to bring up. Peter is a senior, first year as a varsity player. He did so many things behind the scenes. If it was taking somebody to practice, if it was getting some equipment we needed, making a run to get the water bottle or water, whatever it took. And he had a few games that really surprised some people. He gave a little extra heart to our team, Peter Rothkamp. Next young man is our only 10th grader. This is a young man who has as much and maybe more talent than just about every player on this team. And he's learning this game by game, and you're going to see this guy shine throughout his next couple of years at Pacific Hills. He's very dominant for just a 10th grader. He's strong. He's got athletic ability, brings the ball to the basket strong. It's Sharif Joshua. We brought this young man up from the junior varsity team, a 10th grader in the first playoff game. Within 4.5 minutes, scored 10 points. Mr. Instant Offensive Anthony Kiles. Next young man you're going to be hearing a lot throughout the next year, Pacific Hills. One of the top shooting guards in the area, Ryan Abrahams. Next youngster improved a great deal this year, became a force inside, outstanding rebounder, Rodney Harvey. Next young man we brought up from the junior varsity squad came up to me 2 weeks before the state playoffs. He said, "Coach, when we get to the state playoff, to the state final, how am I going to get there?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And Michael says, "Well, the first time I took a plane out to Vegas, it got struck by lightning." And I said, "Yeah, what's the odds of that happening again?" He goes, "Well, the next time I went out to Vegas, I got hit again." I said, "You're right, you're not coming on my plane." Just a junior forward, had an outstanding season on the junior varsity and varsity team, Michael Jaffe. Next young man is a junior, started part of the season for us at guard, outstanding defender, became a pretty good shooter himself, was another reason why we were able to step up our defense this season. Goes to Hyman Lewis. Next plaque certificate goes to our point guard. Ran the ball club throughout the season. Like I said, he was the key on that one of the last plays in that Horizon game. Point guard Brandon Owens. These guys are looking sharp, huh? Next young man, there's about 2 or 3 instances where the season would have actually been over if it wasn't for the plays this young man made. In the Montclair game, with about 10 seconds left, we were down 2. The other team had the ball. Gary made a huge steal, give us the opportunity to score that eventual incredible bucket there at the end. In the state final down at Irvine, the team was making a run. The top player on the other team came driving down. Gary stepped in to take a huge charge. He's going to be a senior next year, and we're expecting him to even step up more. That goes to Gary White. Next young man. In his last year here for us at Pacific Hills, collected 3 CIF championships, numerous awards. That's Conrad Adamczak. Next young man, real special kid, senior, who worked really hard. Unfortunately, this year he had a hip injury, and it was kind of frustrating for him and for the team to see somebody work so hard and to be sidelined and actually slow down a little bit because of the hip injury. And he waited patiently. Coach said, I want to play more, I want to play more, which I really appreciate when guys do that because they really are showing a competitive edge. And he was called upon. We were down by 4, maybe 3 points in the state final. And we looked to Eve. He came in, got us on a little run, made a couple quick passes. By the time halftime came, we're back up by 2. That's a tough spot to be put in the state final. Next award goes to senior Eve Benarosh. Next young man, another senior, has 3 CIF championships under his belt. And if you notice, I appreciate that Rich was mentioning our record, but the bottom line is, when you got kids like these, it helps your record because these guys found ways to make us win. And the senior here, outstanding defense, very unselfish player. Like I said, 3 CIF championships, goes to Kamal Davis. Next young man is our team captain. Another 3-year player, also 3 CIF championships. Both of these 2 guys are also on the baseball team. That goes to Charles Pagan. Okay, I'm going to have them be seated before we do the next awards. That's your 1998 state championship. Okay, I'd like to present, if you look over here, there are many schools. We're very fortunate to get ourselves some plaques. This year we were able to get the Southern California plaque, the Southern Section plaque, which represented about 80 schools. This will be the 1998 5AA banner. This one here is for the Southern California Championship, which is schools from San Diego up to Fresno. That was the game up at Poly Pavilion, so that's your CIF Southern California banner. Now we're looking at from the coast of the northern coast of California to San Diego. We're talking about 400 teams, Division 5, and there's your Division 5 1998 state banner. Okay, the first award, like I said, we were talking about not even doing individual awards this year, just because it was a team thing. There were so many different players that stepped up to make key plays. In a way, we're going to leave somebody out. Because like I said, we could go up and down the line and talk about specific plays, off the court, on the court. This young man was almost amazing at times. He had 38 points in the Southern California game. You look back at the year and how many big shots he hit. He progressed in several ways on the court as far as his defense. It got a little better. The thing that stands out about Ryan is he's got a pretty good shot, but athletically, when he could stop on a dime and pull up 2 or 3 feet above everybody else is a key reason why he's able to get that shot up. Some people don't understand that, but it's just athleticism on the pull-up that helps him score a couple extra points and take shots that some people just don't have the athleticism. This goes to the most outstanding offensive player and a special award from the LA Times. If you watch the LA Times show, which is the shot of the week, where it states Ryan Abrahams, Pacific Hills High School, scored 38 points versus Horizon in the state semifinals, helping Bruins to their first state title. So the offensive player of the year, Ryan Abrahams. Okay, we have 2 most improved players. This young man, like I said earlier, he became a force. And it was amazing how much he improved, even from the beginning of the year to the end, from last year to this year. Another young man who he just, big shots at the end of ball games, big defensive stops, and he's only a junior. That's the best part of him. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. Ronnie Harvey. Next most improved player. The next most improved player. He's one of those players you almost could say without him on the court, we wouldn't break some of those presses. Some big shots at the end of ball games, ran the team's offense. And he was the hardest thing to do for him was, with all the pressure of those big games, the ball was handed to him time after time after time. And if you really, really watched the game as the season went on, you saw somebody really mature. And like I said, he was the one getting everybody together at the end of the ball game. He was the one on the court. I watched these films over and over. And if you look at his face, the big question I get is, how do you guys stay so calm with all that pressure on? And it starts from the point. That goes to the most improved player, Brandon Owens. Okay, next one is most valuable player, which goes to a young man who, as it turns out to be, it's almost like the coaches of the other team selected this award. It was almost after every game, we need a guy like Conrad. We wish we had a guy like Conrad. And, well, what do you mean that, coach? Well, we know he's got, scores some points and he's, does some nice things, but if you have a guy like Conrad as senior leadership, he keeps your team together, things get going tough, he brings them together, makes some big shots. He's got a list of awards. Our most valuable player, Conrad Adams. Next young man, probably as unselfish as they get as far as being on the court. And I decided to give him a coach's award. He was with me for 3 years. Stepped aside at times to give some of the younger guys some extra minutes. In some crucial games, though, he was there at the end. Had some big games throughout his career. Like I said earlier, he was a three-time CIF champion, and a lot of his things go unnoticed off the court as well as on. Coach's Award to Kamal Davis. Next young man, sometimes they say don't have favorites as a coach, but this is kind of one of my favorites because when he first came to the school in his 10th grade year, he just walked around and talked to anybody, and I'm like, hey, he never talks to anybody, you know, need to ride home. That was it, need to ride home, okay, need to ride home. And the thing he did since his 10th grade year is he always played hard. Cedar Sinai became a nice place for us to visit at times. Diving in the walls, doing whatever it takes. But the neat thing about Charles, when we pick the captain, the team picks the captain. And this is a young man who never even talked his 10th grade year. He just kind of walked around, did his own thing. By the time his senior year came, he stepped up, took initiative to do whatever it took to get things done. I am more than confident to say, Charles, I have to go to this meeting, run practice, and he knows the stuff. I feel very comfortable to have him run the team meetings. One thing I tell at coaching clinics when I talk about young men, I have the entire girls program and guys program in one room, and we're going to say, okay, this is our offense, this is our defense, this is how we rotate this all, this is how we do it this year. I get a phone call, I have to leave the room. I come back 10 minutes later, the assistant coaches and the entire group were sitting there watching Charles diagram what we were going to be doing that year. And then he would say, any questions? And then the coach would ask a question. He goes, well, actually, on the back pick, you would have to do this and this and this. It's been a great 3 years. The Coach's Award goes to Charles Pagan. And after 3 years, started off with 2.1, now is an honor roll student, 3+. And the March student of the month. Okay, I can't let these guys leave without one award that I feel it'd be empty if I didn't do this. And we've got an award that's going to go up on our, I guess, unofficial Hall of Fame up there as you walk in next to Mr. Morosco's office. We're going to put a little picture with his accomplishments. And let me read off some of his accomplishments. These are very, very, very impressive accomplishments. We're talking the John R. Wooden Award, which is chosen by the writers and the coaches for the MVP of Division 5, which we're talking about 1,500 players. We're talking 2-time All-State team, 3-time All-CIF team, 3-time All-Delphic League team, CIF Division 5 Player of the Year this year, Los Angeles Times All-West Side and South Bay team at all levels, so that's top 10 out of the entire section there. And last year was the Santa Monica Outlook All-West Side team. We're really going to miss him. Like I said, he brought us a lot of leadership, and I don't think we're really going to understand what he meant to this team until next year when he's gone, because there's so many things he brought to the team. He went through his battles just like everybody else did, but he had a way to come out on top just like the rest of these guys. That goes to number 24, Conrad Adams. Okay, like I said before, we're going to give a couple thank yous out. And, you know, we might miss somebody. The real thank yous go to the parents. I truly am thankful to you for giving me an opportunity to work with your kids. And, you know, we see a lot of the same things. We both are working hard, hopefully, to get them to that next level of life, college, and out to the so-called real world. And we're going to let these guys do a little bit of talk to thank some people that they feel they need to thank.
This year's team, we had a guy that, right there, he's still filming. He wrote this film. And not that many people find it very important, but when you go in the locker room and you can actually say, well, remember what we saw on the tape, so be ready for that back cut, or be prepared for this guy, he's going to do this move. It really comes in handy, and without Byron, who's still filming, you don't get to do that.
And I just want to say this is one of those Byron jobs because we're missing half of the...
We'd like to give a special thank you to a gentleman who most of you aren't familiar with, but he was the one who, when you're a basketball program without a gym, and somebody decides over at Bancroft Middle School to say, hey, I'll stay after if it's going to take 2.5 hours to open up that gym for you and give you guys an opportunity to work out. Practices were much more efficient because the gym was 6 buckets, indoors. I can't thank him enough, and that goes to Mr. Dennis Flynn. Steve, come on up.
On behalf of the basketball team, we'd all like to thank the lady who kept the team together, whether we were hurt, injured, sick, anything. Annie was always there to keep the team together. Me personally, getting my knee taped before every game. In practice, if any of us were sick, she had just whatever. She always kept us there, did everything she could to make everyone play, whether they were hurt or injured. I know at least everyone on the team got hurt at least once, or Annie helped them out, like even more, taking them, even like if they got knocked unconscious, taking them to the hospital. Annie was there to do whatever she could to keep everyone playing. Taping them before games, people would panic, where's Annie, where's Annie? And there Annie came in, getting everyone ready. And we'd like to thank her for everything she's done for us this year.
This guy's been at every game, every road trip. He's our statistician, Avi. He's not much you can say, he keeps score, but he's always he's always been there for us. We need rides to practice, to home. If we're like after this late game, we need a ride home. He's always there for us, and whoever we need, he's there for us. And that's Avi, I mean.
We might have to do a team hug for the next lady and for the next father. Denise would get up at times at 7 o'clock to go open up the gym for us, volunteering her time and extra effort. She gave us an opportunity on those Saturday morning practices, made adjustments to get us in the gym, helped us out at the door, did a little extra, so the team would like to thank Denise White. Come on up.
Denise, smile.
Like I said, when it goes into a program, it's just amazing how many people, like I said, we're going to miss people. We're not trying. But how many people it takes to have a successful program. Next father, hours and hours of work, took us on road trips, made phone calls to make sure the kids were doing their homework, contacted the parents. It's just behind the scenes and just helped the success of this team goes to Mr. Henry Davis. One person that's way behind the scenes, he just dropped off the highlight videotape. He was up to 3 in the morning the other night. He was up all night, and I told him it might not work out tonight because it might go long, but my brother is behind the scenes. He's probably spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on some of these pictures along with Jordan Feldman. He's put that highlight video together behind the scenes. It goes to my brother Robert Bobbich. Where's Robert? Is he here?
He's behind the scenes.
Oh, he's way behind the scenes. Come on up, Rob. All right, somebody go back and give him a play. Coach Ibarra will give him a play.
Hey, Rob. Woo!
It's 7 o'clock this morning doing this video for you.
Smile for us, Rob. We love you, Rob. Hey, let me talk.
Two people that deserve a special recognition goes to the support system for our program, which have given me nothing but 100% support since I got here. They said, it's your program, do what you want with it. Just communicate to me. And I said, I want to give these kids a little more recognition this year, so I'm going to have my own banquet. And he said, fine. And that goes to Mr. Makeup and Mr. Morosco. Possibly, like I said, it sounds repetitious, but these two young ladies work about 15 feet away from me and try to keep me under control, especially during the season when I'm a zombie for like 3 or 4 months. Following me around to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, get things done, counsel kids, teach, coach. It's a lot of fun. They keep me insane, and I want to, they make me say something. They keep me sane. Something. And I'd like to thank Lynn and Melanie. And the last one is a family award. I've known them for, I guess it's been six years now, since their son was here and was part of the Southern Regional Championship back in '94. If he didn't take pictures of us, he'd probably be a rich man right now, because he spends more money on film and development, and his wife is a tireless worker. Abby's behind the scenes in ways that would really help our team when, let's just say we just brought a road trip and we have to make a run to get something at the store. She'd do that. She'd be the one who she'd be the one for us when we needed film, because she's president of the student body, and a lot of those pictures were because of Abby. She's developed into a great young lady, and she's a great help to our team. Abby Feldman, Jordan Feldman, Teddy Feldman.
Hey, Byron.
And one thank you behind the scenes, you don't even have to move, I'll give it to you. Who's developing our younger kids, Coach Danny Soto and Coach Kevin Kelsey. That's just part of our Pacific Hill family. I'd like you to see it. Thank you. And behind the scenes, we talk about that a lot. And after you guys leave the games, and things are being picked up. If it's banners, if it's trash, basically whatever it takes. This is probably, and I was an athletic director at Pacific Hills myself at one time. He was probably the best athletic director the school's ever had, and a special thank you to Coach Rick Ahara. Conrad and Charles wanted to say a couple words. Before I start, Lonnie. After Charles.
I just wanted to shorter. I just want to thank my mom. She's knows my mom. She's the lady right there. Say hi. I just want to thank her. She's never going to get a chance to say thank you. I also want to thank basically everyone that's in this room. And all the coaches. I don't really have a father, but all you guys are like father figures to me. I look up to everyone here, and I really appreciate everyone being there for me. Abby, you're like a sister to me. Abby's always there for me if I ever need anything. My team's like my brothers. Coaches are like my fathers. Mr. Moscow, Mr. Maykoff. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's always supporting me. Oh, and I will be going to prep school next year, so just in case everyone wants to know. I'm going to prep school next year. Thank you.
Lonnie is showing off for the new Pacific Hill State Championship shirt.
Oh,
Those sweatshirts are the same. Sweatshirts are 20 and the t-shirts are 13. Here's the way we did it. We just ordered a few, so there's a few here tonight. But if you want to make an order, just have them order them at school. I have a few here tonight, but like I said, make the orders. So it's 20 for the sweatshirts. Oh, with me, Coach Devin and me and Charles and me. Okay, 20 for the sweatshirts, 13 for the t-shirts. Coach Charles is on.
I'll go.
The learning environment was different. This was my first. The learning environment was different. This was my first year at a private school as well as a basketball team. Throughout my career, I have learned many things on and off the court. This season has had its ups and downs, but it surely ended on a high note. Our team has experienced a lot of things this year. Whatever it was, we worked ourselves through it. Just as in Las Vegas, we weren't playing to our potential, but with the dedication that we put forth, we worked ourselves through it. Everyone on the team had a role of their own to play. And whenever we needed anyone to step up, someone played that role and came through. We knew we would go far as individuals, but we would go even farther as a team. I believe that our hard work and dedication paid off when we had reached the playoffs. Everyone played a big part in our success throughout the playoffs. 7 overtimes and 3 overtime wins. Who could believe it? We were always noted as the underdog, but we seemed to always come out to be the top dog. I credit our success to the little things that we've done. Without us doing the little things, the big things wouldn't happen. I would also like to thank all those that supported us in our long journey throughout our season. One thing that we all learned is to have gratitude for everyone that helped us and supported us. We couldn't have done it without all of you. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, people. This is the first time I've ever doing this speech, so this is different. Initially, I did not want to attend Pacific Hills High School. I felt that the school was too small and I wouldn't fit in this atmosphere. However, at Pacific Hills High School, I learned that school actually meant something, and through the basketball team, I had many memorable experiences. In the past years at PHS, I've played for many teams, but this team is unique. We have had many ups and downs, but we have been able to maintain the same common goal, to win the state championship. At times, I felt that we were falling apart, but we were still able to stay close and fight through the tough obstacles that faced us. But in the end, I'm glad I attended Pacific Hills High School because it has taught me to be a team player, and that not one player could win a game, but it takes a team effort to win a game, and a team effort to achieve excellence. Thank you very much. One more person that I don't think we addressed. But this guy behind the scenes named Wayne Slappy, he worked out with a few of our teammates at UCLA. He worked out with a few of our players at UCLA, and he toned our game. You can thank Brandon Owens. He's a good example of his work. Jaime Lewis, Charles Hagan, we've all worked out with Slappy. He helped us out a lot. Thank you very much.
In recognition of, we have already up in school a rendering that says 3 championship seasons, and the players actually call those guys the gods, because they were great, not only as players, but gentlemen. And so that's what these guys always aspired to be, like the gods. John and I talked about it, and John had a friend who was the gentleman who does art for the LA Times, do a rendering of the last 2 or 3 years of championships and the people who were most instrumental in making that happen, who are seniors and graduating. See this yet either, so really got you to see it later, but highlights Conrad, Charles, Kamal, Eve, Coach, and also it wouldn't be the same without Abby, so we put Abby. I mean that with all, she's a big part of it, so Abby's on here too. These will be available. We'll make them as cheap as possible. We'll have them made, and again, you can call Coach or David Dove to get a copy. I think he did a great job. The whole team's pictured here, and like I said, the seniors in the last 2 or 3 years who have been so instrumental in 3 championship seasons. This is a surprise to the team and the coach and everybody, but I thought it was appropriate that we have a good, appropriate trophy for being state champs. They haven't got this plaque, so this is what we have for the school. Gift, if you will, from the Headmaster's Discretionary Fund to do this, and this will be prominently placed right next to the JV Championship, right, Danny? And this will be here for everybody to see, because these guys deserve it, and this will be here forever for all their accomplishments. So, we're happy to do that. Okay, so lastly, I just want to say one quick thing, and that is, you see like 6